You're listening to the Hollywood Drop Podcast. And now here's your host, Candace Cruz.
Hey guys, it's Candace Cruz back with the Hollywood Drop. And today we have two of the stars of the Four Single Chicks podcast on the Digital Podcast Network. We're here with Catherine Tabor and Krizia Bajos.
Beautiful job.
Thank you. I've been practicing.
Very good.
Thank you. Well, welcome to the Hollywood Drop, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So I met two of your other castmates last episode, and now I get to have you two lovely ladies. So I now have the whole gang.
Yes.
do.
Yes.
The
the
Fab
whole
Four.
gang.
It would have been fun to have all four someday.
Ooh, I feel like that would be a really long episode. I
Yes.
feel like we'd be talking for a very long time.
You would be right.
Well, I mean, I obviously have fallen in love with your characters, but I want to fall more in love with you all because I've gotten to talk to you a little bit, and I just love your stories of how you came into this world of acting and performing, doing voiceover, and how you came across this actual amazing project. So tell me a little bit about your journey to becoming an actor, because I know you started very young.
I did. Gosh, it's one of those things that, when you're like, 5 or 6, I had this bug in me and I, had to tend to it. But it's I started doing, like living room plays and making my brother be the genie in Aladdin and...
Very applicable to right now.
It is. We were ahead of our time, I had the programs made and everything.
So you were directing.
Oh, yeah. I was directing and I was in it. And
producing.
the action sequences, like I had it down. I was the box office, made them all buy tickets, my own family. I also got into like a little magic stint. It's like I have a great uncle who is like a magician hypnotist, and I know, and so I'm the oldest out of that side of the family's like grandkids, and so he would take me to the Casa Los Trucos in Miami, and it's like the house of tricks.
I was going to say, what is it? Yeah. What does that mean?
And like tricks, and it sounds like kind of bad, so like cool. House of Tricks. No, but it's like magic tricks, guys, magic tricks. And so he would show me like the fake thumb or the magician doesn't reveal her secrets. But
wait, what?
I know.
It's fake.
It's all an illusion.
It's all magic. It's not fake. It's magic.
That's so cool. You were little and doing this.
I was, and I remember
awesome.
I had a little trunk. It was the cutest thing of all my magic tricks, and so like I would open them up, and it was like my favorite. I remember there was one that was like a book, and it had blank pages, and then I would abracadabra, and then it had outline, and then abracadabra, and then they're all colored in. And I thought, and my family was like, "Whoa!"
That's so
I
cool.
was living large. Yeah,
You were a natural born performer.
I loved it.
They always say if you could do anything else, do it. And then if not, then it's just in your blood. So it feels like it started early. When did it start for you, Catherine?
Well, it's funny. She's got me beat by about a year because I always say I think I was around 7 when I realized that was what I wanted to do, and I'm not even sure why. Like you don't even know why. You don't even know what it is, but you just kind of get this sense that it's what you're supposed to do. And I went from hating being photographed before that, and then suddenly I really liked being on camera. And then I started doing all the little, modeling, local modeling for the mall and all of that stuff. And I just started to really love it. And I always loved reading and books and telling stories. And that's really what we do, is tell stories. So from an early age, I just loved doing that and making up characters and voices, but I didn't do magic.
Nor did I.
Very niche.
We're in the same boat here.
I feel like I lost out here.
No. I was just a weird kid, man. I was a really weird
You
kid.
can always start later. I mean, exactly. It's never too late.
Tricks. I'll teach you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, fast forward a couple years and tell me about your journey to LA, because I feel like that's always the biggest question of an actor's career is like, when did you decide I'm going to drop everything and move to Hollywood and make it big?
Me. So, my thing was, listen, if I can make my make it big, or my success was if I can make a living doing what I love, that's amazing. Yeah. And that was my goal. And so I came out here because of a gentleman that he was a casting director back in the day. And he cast under Marion Doherty. She was a very famous casting. Wow. Yeah. They have a great documentary about her. But he moved into management, and then he did these workshops in Miami. And man, especially in Miami, it's obviously not a market like LA. It's got a little bit of a market. So anything that would come into town that would have to do with acting or people from LA, I'd be like, I'm in, I'd take them all, learn, soak it up like a sponge. So he came over and he was fantastic, and I loved everything he had to say, and we did scenes and we worked, and he talked to me afterwards. He's like, I think you could really have a future out here. If you ever come out to LA, I'd love to manage you. I was like, oh man. So that stayed in my mind. I was probably like, I'm trying to think. I think I was like 20. And then he came back, I think, for a second round, like a year later, and kept in touch. And my parents, I remember I was in college and I was like, it was itching. And I was like, man, I don't know. I don't know if I can finish. I want to move out to LA. Ended up going. He's a sweetheart. He's no longer in the business, but I'm so grateful to him because he was the only person I knew out here. I didn't know anybody. I just kind of jumped and just went for it, and he got me some great opportunities right when I, first came out here. And I had no idea what I was doing. No idea.
There should be a rule book, right?
But that's life, right? The experience is like, some stuff, yes, I wish I would have really squeezed the juice out of these opportunities that I had when I was naive and didn't know any better. But at the same time, I really like who I am right now. And I think I wouldn't have been who I am should I not have those experiences and, those tough, figuring it out. I had 5 jobs when I first came out here, working at everything, trying to make ends meet and making it on my own. But that gave me drive. That gave me that ambition. That gave me also my discipline, sense of hustle that I didn't have when I first came out here. And okay, I really need to push the pedal to the metal. And if this is what I want, I got to give it 100%. If not, just go home, be with your family.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Catherine, I want to get to your story as well, but we're going to hop to a quick break.
Sure.
So guys, stay tuned because we're going to have more from 2 of our lovely ladies from 4 Single Chicks podcast on the Digital Podcast Network. Stay tuned.
¿Qué tal, amigos? It's Paloma Rodriguez. So you guys want to hear this Cuban girl speak her mind? Then check out the Latin Dish podcast exclusively on Digital Podcast Network.
And now back to the Hollywood Drop podcast with your host, Candace Cruz.
Welcome back to the Hollywood Drop. I'm Candace Cruz, and I'm here with 2 of the lovely ladies from 4 Single Chicks podcast on the Digital Podcast Network. We're here with Catherine Tabor and Krizia Bajos.
Beautiful. Each
Thank
time.
you.
I love
it just keeps
Candace.
getting better and better.
Just roll that R.
I want an accent with my name. Can you do Irish?
I can try next time. Come back to me later, okay? Well, we heard a little bit about your story of coming out to LA. I want to hear about yours, Catherine, because you gave some knowledge earlier, and I feel like I loved it so much where you just jump and the net will appear. So tell me about your journey.
Yeah, and it's funny because, I'm East Coast too, but I'm Georgia. And again, it was just that knowing of if you want to do this, you have to get out either to New York or LA. And I had sort of gotten some advice that LA, the weather was a lot better.
So much better.
It is.
Partial.
And also, that this was really a film-centered place. And if you wanted to do more of the theater, you would go to New York, which is amazing, too. These days, I'm
I know, me too. Sometimes I go back should I have gone to New York for a little bit? Yeah.
But really, so I came out and knew absolutely no one. Drove all the way across country with a couple people that I had met back in Georgia who were also aspiring actors, and we were kind of doing some of the stuff that was happening in Georgia, commercials and movies that were being shot there. But just driving across the country, packed up my car with my little briefcase with my headshots, and got to LA. And 3 days later, my car got broken into, and someone stole my headshots and my little briefcase.
Oh, that's not creepy at all.
I know. But it was really funny because there's all those moments that you're you're not gonna beat me. And they really do. It's exactly what you were saying. They shape who you are, and you sort of go, oh, could things have been different? But no, it makes you who you are. And it also, a lot of people come to LA wanting to be a part of this magical entertainment industry. But one of the big things is do you stay? And how much do you want it? And how much work do you put in? And the people who stick around and really want it are often, we all have these battle stories from first coming here.
The wounds, yeah.
But yeah, and working, like you said, all these crazy jobs just to make ends meet. I was a dog walker, a horse groomer. I worked at a fancy boutique. I was a babysitter, all this stuff. And then that crossroads that we were talking about, where you just go, you know what? I'm going to be a professional actor. And I'm not sure that it's going to work, but I'm just going to stop doing all that other stuff. And there's this shift, and suddenly, you're not making a ton of money necessarily. You're not buying a big house, but you're getting paid to work as an actor, and it's what you wanted to do. And there's nothing like it. And a lot of people that I meet in life, they're just oh my gosh, you're just so lucky that you're doing what you love and you're getting paid to do it, because you realize not everybody gets to do that.
Yeah.
So it's not always a dream, but you know, when we're doing this, you're literally living the dream.
Yeah, when you guys get to play. And I mean, there's such a dynamic, and you can see that there is the talent and the hard work that you guys have put into it that you really do hear on the show. The fact that you can have that camaraderie with these other women. And it's the underlying tone. We all are fighting for something that we have a dream for, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you've worked on some amazing stuff, and so have you. What do you think is the biggest difference between on camera versus voiceover?
Well, we were talking a little bit about this just right before we got on here, and I love it. We're so used to, well, on camera, obviously, the obvious one. You see us. Hello. Hi. You see us, and so, you know, like a natural human, there are judgments to be made. And so that trickles down to casting. So if you're looking for something, I would always struggle with I am not blank enough. Right?
Or too blank.
Yeah, all of it. I am not white enough, Latina enough. I am not pretty enough, not ugly enough, not tall enough, not short enough. You can drive yourself crazy trying to figure out what they want instead of just being like, you know what, this is who I am, and I am enough Krizia, period. And somebody out there is going to want this, and I just keep working and striving for it, and the right projects will come along that fit this, you know? And so that was the beauty also of voiceover and transferring there. I was telling Kat, when I started to really dive into voiceover, I feel like I really got my voice. It sounds a little surfacey, but it's actually much deeper than that. So yes, of course, I have the physical voice that you hear, but there's something that's kind of indescribable that happens when the strength and the power comes. Like, this is all you hear. This is all you have. And this is a very competitive business. I mean, the people that work in this town for voiceover, there are some incredible artists out there. Insane.
More competitive, really, than on camera, which is a huge misnomer, because there's so many people who have been doing it and can do so many different things that they don't need new people.
No. You just cast that one person, you've got 5 characters.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's a great point. Like, I don't do a bunch of crazy characters. I've got my pocket one, but I just do me very well. And I know the different attitudes and tones that I have. So for me, that gave me, like, I was like, whoa, this doesn't matter. What story am I telling? What is, like, you feel everything. If you only have the voice and you're trying to give the story of this character, you can really convey everything, and it can be like this scalpel-like precision. So it's I love voiceover.
And you really can't fake the acting ability, which I think that's a huge thing, because when you're just doing on camera, which again both of us started with as well, you know, you can really have your confidence shaken because they didn't pick you, and it's well, was it this? Was it that? When you start working voiceover, it helps you not go home and go, well, maybe I just suck, you know, because they're hiring you for your acting. Whereas there's so much else going into the on camera, which I still love, but it just makes you a more confident actor.
Yeah.
Because you can't fake it in voiceover. You're either telling the story and people are buying it, or you're not. And that's been so exciting about this project, because these girls that I'm working with are so good.
And I love you guys so much. And I'm so excited because we're going to have you guys back on another episode to talk more about the actual episodes of Four Single Chicks. So thank you guys so much for coming in. I did fall in love with you all, just more than your characters, I think.
Mission complete.
Done. Mission complete. You won. You guys won't want to miss these 2 lovely ladies and their 2 other stars of Four Single Chicks on the Digital Podcast Network. Again, my name is Candace Cruz. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the Hollywood Drop Podcast. If it's new and fresh in Hollywood, you'll find it right here on the Hollywood Drop.